Hello, everyone, and welcome you all to another chapter of the DaVinci Resolve tutorial. So now we are on our chapter number 10, where I'll be showing you guys about the transition effects in DaVinci Resolve. Okay, so we'll see how you will be able to use transition between your videos. Okay, what is a cut transition, how you will be able to change the values of those transitions as well. So let's not waste time and let's get started. So over here on my screen, as you guys can see, now I'm here in the home page of the DaVinci Resolve. Okay. So this is basically the edit page, as you guys already know, and I do have my footages onto my media pool. Okay. So the thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of these videos. Okay. So I'm going to get some of these videos over here into my timeline. Let's place those videos right over here. If you do want me to trim these videos, I can come here, trim those videos as well. And let's put these videos right over here as well. And let's just move this one apart. And what I can do is I can just come here and I can just trim those things down as well. Okay, so I will just trim this video right over here. Let's add another video. Okay, let's come here and let's try to see this video, which I had used a lot many times throughout this tutorial. Okay, so let's come here. Let's decrease the size a little bit. And what you can do now is you guys can just click to zoom to fit here into your whole timeline. Okay, so now I'm able to see all of these footages right over here at once. Okay, so in last class, we do have talked about this inspector panel. Okay. So now you do want to put some kind of transition in between these videos. Okay. Like if you come here, if I just move my playhead and let's say I will just play this thing up. Okay. And if you just take a look over here, you guys can see the transition between this video and coming to this another video, there is a cutout. Okay. So there is not a smooth transition between both of these videos. Okay, so in some places the cut transition looks good, and while I'm showing you guys about the transition effects, you need to make sure that you don't use transition quite often or don't overuse it. Okay, so if you overuse anything, let's say if you put too much of effects in your video, if you put too much of coloring, or if you put too much color grading in your video, this might actually decrease the value, or it might actually decrease the total beauty of your video. Okay, so once you have this kind of cut, okay, this straight cut over here between both of this video is basically known as the cut transition. Okay, but here if you do want to put any customized transition, there are a lot of options available in DaVinci Resolve. Okay, so let's come here and let's look about that, how these things are basically done. Okay, so first thing first, let's go here into my media pool. Let's close it down. And from here, let's go and let's open up my effects panel. Okay. So over here, as you guys can see, under effects panel, under toolbox, I do have different transitions over here. Okay. So the first thing under transition is the video transition. And the next thing is the audio transition. If I come here, click on to the video transitions, you guys can see I do have dissolve, I do have the iris option. Over here you guys can see I do have a shape, the wipe option, and there are a lot of things more. Okay, so I'm not telling you guys to check all of these things out, but I'll be showing you guys all the basics ones right over here. Okay, so if you come here and if you just click over here once, let's say if I just come over here and if I just click, okay, let's say I do want to see the transition of how it actually looks. Okay, so if you just hover your mouse over this, you guys can see how it will basically transit over here in this particular media pool. Okay, so you guys can see over here how it will basically transit from one video to the other, and out of all of these transitions, you guys can see that this particular transition, they do have this red color mark. Okay, so what do you mean by that? So you guys might think, but this one is basically the default transition Okay, so if you do want to put any kind of transition, let's say if I come here, if I just place up this gap over here, okay, so now if I just select this and if I just right click on my mouse, you guys can see I do have different option. Okay, so they're asking that do I want to add 6 frame of cross dissolve? Do I want to add 20 frames of cross dissolve, which is around 1 second? Okay, or do I want to add 48 frames cross dissolve? Okay, so as the cross dissolve is the default one, I can come here, and if I do want to come here and let's say I want to make this one as the standard transition or the default transition, once I click this one here, you guys can see this particular red sign is now moved from the cross dissolve to the additive dissolve option. Okay, again, I can right click and I can just set this one as the standard transition. Okay, so I will add this one as the standard transition over here. And well, there are different ways of how you will be able to put on transitions. Okay, so let's come to this particular point. And now if you do want to put out any kind of transition, you guys can come here and you guys can drag this one and make sure to drop it right over here. Okay, so there are different ways of how you will be able to apply transition. Okay, so if I come here, let's say I can just put it in different ways. One is I do want to put it right over here. Okay, one is if I do want to put it in the first footage in the last frame, do I want to put it here in the center, or I want to put it in the first frame of my second video or the second footage which I have over here in my timeline. And if I don't want to put anywhere, I can come here and I can just select a default. Let's come here, bring the cross dissolve over here, and I can make sure to put this cross dissolve right over here itself. Okay, so make sure that you select this one, make sure you put it right over here, and you guys can actually increase the size of the transition as well. Okay, and individually, if you want to work on with this one, you guys can come here and place it right over here in one side. Okay, so I will just Control Z, back again, Control Z over here, and there are also different ones. You guys can just see up a preview of how it will disappear. So here, this is how it will just go off. And this is the cross iris. Here you guys can see this is the oval iris. Okay, so you guys can come here and check all of these options out. Okay, so it totally depends on you how you do want it to work. Okay, and here this is the center wipe option. Okay, let's come here, and if you do want to apply it over here, you guys can come here and apply it right over here again. And let's say I want to make some changes. I will select this transition. Let's go to inspector option, and under inspector you guys can see that I do have this transition type. Okay, and you need to understand that the transition type basically, or the transition properties over here, basically depends on the type of transition you're choosing on. Okay, so here also, if you do want to reset these values, I have already showed you guys in my last class where I had explained you guys about the inspector panel. Okay, now also we are working in inspector panel, but now we are talking about transition in detail. Okay, so now we are talking about transition, and now let's come here. If you do want to change the transition type, let's say I want to take the additive dissolve. Okay, you guys can see the changes over here. Okay, the properties are basically being changed. Okay, so let's say if you do want to put it right over here on one side, okay, you guys can come here and put it at the starting of a video. And here, if you do want to put it over here in the center, this particular transition, you guys can come here and you guys can basically do that over here as well. Okay, so if you do want to put it right over here, and where do you want to basically start? Okay, you can select the start ratio, and you can also select the end ratio, and also how you want your transition to be, like how you want it. Do you want it to ease in? Do you want it to ease out? Do you want to customize it? You guys can come here and you guys can customize the transition curve from here itself. Okay, so now let's come here. If you do want to change the duration, you guys can come here, and let's say I want to take it at 2.5 seconds. Okay, so let's come here. Let's just place this one right over right. somewhere over here. Okay, so I will just come here and I will just play, and here you guys can see the transition is quite slow, which I don't want. Okay, let's go with 0.5 seconds. Okay, so if I just click on enter, let's come here to this particular point again, and now let's just play it up. And here you guys can see the transition is quite smooth. And if you do want to ease in, you guys can come here and use this ease in option, and let's just play this thing up. And here you guys can see the transition looks quite great. And if you do want to change it again, you guys can come here and you guys can change it from here itself. And let's say if you do want to delete it, you guys can come here and you guys can just delete it right from your screen itself. Okay, let's come here, let's click on delete option, and it is basically being deleted. Let's come here, let's try to change deep to color to dissolve. You guys can come here, place this one wherever you want, and there are other options as well. You guys can go down, check out all of these options. If you want to zoom in, okay, you guys can come here and you guys can basically zoom in and zoom out. And over here also you guys can see that you guys can put up the transition at any cut possible. Okay, so now let's move this thing up, and also let's go over here on top. If you do want to have the slide option, you guys can also get a preview of how it will basically work. Okay, so let's come over here, let's put on some smooth cut. Okay, let's come here, let's place it. Okay, let's come here, and now if you just play this thing, okay, you guys will be able to see the changes as well. Okay, let's go to the transition. You guys can select how you do want to align it. Okay, let's say I want to align it over here in one side. I can align it, and how you want it. Okay, what is the mode? Do you want it faster? You guys can come here and select the ease in mode as well. Okay, so come here and select this ease in mode from here itself. Let's increase the size to 1.5 sec. Okay, and once you're done, let's play this thing up, and over here you guys are able to see the difference over here into the transition. Okay, so I will come here, I will just play this thing up, and over here you guys will be able to see that particular smooth cut. Okay, so once you are done with that, what you guys can do is you guys can come here, and let's say I will just come to this particular cut, and over here also I do want to put on some blur. Okay, let's say I will come here, I will just place it right somewhere over here. Okay, so I want to place it somewhere right over here. And also you guys can see that I do have this multiple cuts over here. Okay, and here you guys can select the in and out option. Okay, so for the out here, you guys can see I do have the blur dissolve. Okay, so let's come here, let's just select this thing up. Let's come here, let's select this thing, and here I do have blur dissolve. And also I can select what is going to be the horizontal strength of my blur. I can select what is going to be the vertical strength of my blur. I can select the start ratio. When do I want to basically start it? And also I do want to select the end ratio. If you want to put out any transitional curve, okay, like you want to customize the ease in and the ease out, how you want the curve to appear on your screen, you guys can use this particular option over here as well. Okay, and let's say you want to select, you want to have in all the transition, you want to have it for 1 second. Okay, so in that case, now from your inspector panel under the transition options, you guys can basically set this one as the default duration. Okay, so now if I select this one as the default duration, okay, so now let's come here, let's just select this one, let's delete this thing, and whatever thing I take, okay, whatever transition I take from here, let's say if I take this iris arrow iris, okay, so here you guys can see by default only it will give me a duration of 1 second, or which is around 24 frames. Okay, so I will come here, let's see the transition from here. Okay, let's just play it with my mouse, and over here this is how it will appear. And if I do want to work with this one individually, you guys can select what is going to be the aspect ratio. Over here you guys can select the aspect ratio, you guys can select how the rotation is going to be, and also you guys can, if you do want to put out any feather, you guys can put out any feather, and also you guys can choose out the color you want while transition. Okay, so I can just put on some of the color codes over here. So let me tell you about one website from where you guys can actually get different kind of colors, which is Color Hunt. Okay, so from there basically we guys will be able to get different kind of color codes, which we can come here and apply that same code over here in the HTML option, and we will get that desired color which we are looking for. So for now I will just come here, I will cancel this thing up. Now once you're done with this, you guys can select, as I will come here, let's select this color, and now I will just click on OK. And now let's see this transition over here. Okay, let's come here, let's place it somewhere over here, and now let's place it, and here you guys can see the color and the feather has been changed a little bit. Okay, so maybe not a lot. Okay, let's come here again, let's add up a border, and here you guys can see during the transition. Okay, let's come here, and over the transition I will just turn off the snap for now. Okay, let's come here, and if you just take a look here, now you guys can see that I do have the feather while the transition. Okay, but if I turn off the feather, you guys can see I do have this particular color of border. Okay, so in the border I do have this particular color while it's transitioning, and also I can choose the ease in, ease out, or do I want a custom. So let me take the ease in option. Okay, let's come here and let's just play this thing up again, and this is how it will basically transit. Okay, totally depends on you how you want to work with that. Okay, so this was about the video transition, and under audio transition also you guys can see I do have these three options over here. But under video transition you guys are able to see that I do have a lot of options over here. Okay, and for different kind of transitions they do have the in and out, as I have also showed you guys. As here in the blur dissolve, they're asking me how I, while it's coming in as a blur, how I want it to appear, what is going to be the aspect ratio, what is going to be the border, and also how you are actually looking to offset to the center. Okay, all of these things basically matter. And if you go here into the out option, here you guys can see how it you want it to disappear, like what is going to be the horizontal strength, what is going to be the vertical strength, and what is going to be the start ratio, what is going to be the end ratio. So totally you guys can work with this one and also experiment with all of this transition. Check out which transition looks good with your video. Okay, make sure that when you're working over here you do have a good knowledge about transition, and don't overuse all of these features, because once you overuse all of these things it will kind of look unprofessional and it will look that you are a beginner. Okay, I do understand that you are getting started with DaVinci Resolve, but you don't want others to feel that, oh, you're just getting started, because once you put on some professional touch into your video, it will give a good impression of your work to others. So make sure to do it in a correct manner and also in a correct amount. So yeah, I hope you guys do have understood this class on how you will be able to work on with transition. Okay, so different kind of transitions over here. Let's say if I come here and let's say I want to give out a cut. Let's select my blend tool. Let's come here. Let's give this one up a cut. Let's place my mouse over here. Okay, let's take the selection tool. Let's come over here and I want to put out another transition. Let's say I want to put the additive dissolve, or let's say I want to put the non-additive dissolve, I can come here and I can just place it right over here in the center itself. Okay, and if you do want to increase the size, let's come here, select this one. Now let's increase the duration over here. Let's come here and let's put it up for 2 seconds. And now if I just play this thing up, you guys can see now there is a great transition between that. And let's say instead of this one, non-additive dissolve, let's go with the cross iris. Okay, so once I do have this cross iris option, let's play this thing. And here also now you are not able to see any changes. Okay, so let's go with blur dissolve over here. So now let's play this one, and here you guys can see there is a blur dissolve of 2 seconds where I can check what is going to be the horizontal strength. Let's come here, decrease this somewhat to 0.5. Okay, so let's come here, let's select 0.5. Let's click on enter, or let's come here and let's go with 0.5. Okay, so yeah, this looks good. 0.5 over here. And now let's see the changes. What changes does it show me? And here you guys can see the strength is not much over here. And also I will select what is going to be the vertical strength. Let's select this one as well as 0.5. Okay, so I will just click on enter. I will select what is going to be the start ratio. Let's go with 30. And over here, now towards the end ratio, let's go with 90. Okay, so I will just click on enter. Let's see how it actually looks. Okay, let's come here. Let's just play this thing up. And this is how it will appear. Okay, so this was about transition. I hope you guys do got an basic idea about how you are going to work. Okay, so yeah, I hope to see you all in the next chapter where we'll be learning more about effects. Okay, how you will be able to apply effects, different ways to put it, about the adjustment layer as well. So take care, everyone. See you all in the next chapter.